All right, so good evening and welcome to Brooklyn Borough Hall. We are so delighted to have you here once again to our annual IFTAR dinner, and we want to thank you so much for joining us today. I want to thank you for having me join you today as part of your celebration. So again, on behalf of the Borough President Eric Adams and all of our staff here at Brooklyn Borough Hall and the 2.9 million Brooklynites, if the number is that correct, we want to again thank you so much. Enjoy the evening. I am here to partake. I'm here to be blessed, and I trust that you're going to be blessed as well. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And, mashallah, and welcome to our 14th annual IFTAR dinner at Brooklyn Borough Hall. My name is Naima Baroudi Ramak. I'm the Vice President of MACMW, that's Moroccan American Council to Empower Women. And by profession, I'm an SLP, that's a speech language pathologist. I work with the pediatric population all over New York. And I'm here to introduce our MC for today. His name is Kashif. His last name is Hussein. And it was very hard for me to summarize his bio. Really, I found it so amazing. And when somebody tells you to try to only pick the pertinent information, so everything to me is pertinent and amazing. So anyways, I had him summarize it for me. His full name is Kashif Hussein, and he's a resident engineer who has supervised New York City and New York State Capitol projects related to infrastructure for 16 years. And he worked for General Electric, for New York City Department of Environmental Protection. He worked for the Port Authority here in New York and in New Jersey. And he worked for New York City Department of Sanitation and for the Federal National Park Services. And he also served as an advisory council of Pakistani American Political Action Committee for 2 years in Washington, D.C. And he engaged in political dialogue with various congressmen and state senators. He's currently right now working as an auxiliary sergeant with the NYPD, the New York Police Department, at the 66th Precinct for 14 years. And he's also a member of the Community Emergency Response Team in New York City for 14 years. And more than that, he has been part of the disaster planning team with the American Red Cross for 12 years. And he's doing more volunteer work for the EMT with Bed-Stuy as a volunteer for the Volunteer Ambulance Corps for 4 years. And he's also an instructor with the American Heart Association as a certified CPR and AED. And he's the vice president of the Muslim Civilian Observation Patrol Services. And last but not least, he's the founder and chairman of Pakistani American Youth Society, that's called PAYS. And these are the youth that you see around wearing the black t-shirts, and PAYS is written in green. That's the Pakistani American Youth Society. And he's also a founding member of the Muslims Giving Back. Everybody knows the Muslims Giving Back, and they're here also. They always work here as volunteers, and they wear the red t-shirts. So without any further ado, I'm presenting to you Brother Kashif, and he's going to be our MC for tonight. Please come to the podium.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wassalam ala rasulillah. On behalf of Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, his staff, especially Pastor Guilford Monrose, and the entire Iftar committee members, welcome you all to our 14th annual Iftar dinner. Tonight, we have amazing and inspiring guest speakers, Ramadan performances, an award ceremony showcasing the beauty of unity and diversity in Muslim Ummah. So my next guest is a well-known Islamic speaker and lecturer in the United States. He has studied with numerous scholars from around the world and was the Imam of George Mason University. He's the most popular for his Dawah workshop, and I love his Dawah workshop, How to Give Shahada in 10 Minutes. He also teaches a number of intensive courses designed for youth and has many lectures, especially in the field of Islamic history. He's also one of my favorite teachers. Please help me welcome Sheikh Kamal Al-Makki for the recitation and translation of Al-Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. So I was told in about 4 or 5 minutes to give the gist of the translation of these verses, as well as an explanation of why we fast. So these are the famous verses of fasting, and we've been hearing them repeatedly throughout this month of Ramadan. And it begins by saying, O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you. And so that first indicates that other nations and other religions also had this idea of fasting. And we know this from other religions who have fasted, and now not just religions, but it's becoming the fashion now, intermittent fasting for the sake of dieting. Anyone on board with that? No? Okay, good. So, what is fasting then? Many times people describe it as when you abstain from eating and drinking from sunup until sundown. And that is almost like the childhood definition of fasting. But the real idea is the bigger picture, something is greater than that. And that is, it's not just abstaining from ingesting food and water, but the bigger deal is abstaining from using profanity, from telling lies, from backbiting, from spreading rumors. So it's really more about what comes out of your mouth than what goes in. Most people, their biggest concern is to make sure they do not swallow the slightest drop of water, or they exaggerate in not smelling food and all kinds of things. But the bigger deal really is your behavior, your mannerisms, and what comes out of your mouth. So the question then is, what is the link between not eating and drinking and drawing nearer to God? So why did God prescribe don't eat and don't drink for this whole month? To get closer to me. And the idea, the scholars put it very nicely. They said, when your stomach is empty, the rest of your body parts become full. But when your stomach is full, the rest of your body parts are empty. What does that mean? So if I'm well fed, I've just had a good meal, some dessert, now I've got time for gossip, I've got time for all my other desires, all my other body parts suddenly become hungry. But if my stomach is empty, let's take an extreme case where someone is on the brink of starvation. Do they have time for the latest gossip? Are they interested in spreading rumors or telling lies or backbiting or speaking bad about people? They have absolutely no care or no concern for that, because their number one concern is to feed themselves. So when your stomach is empty, the rest of your body parts become full. Your tongue is full, your eyes are full, your ears are full. And that's the whole idea behind abstaining from food and drink, so then we can put our focus on worshiping Allah or worshiping God and drawing nearer to Him. And we admit that there are some people who put their food and drink aside, and their main concern is the countdown to when we get to eat. And hopefully none of them are in this room, right? Excellent. So the second verse, and I only recited 2 verses. And by the way, my voice is much nicer in the silent prayers. Much nicer. That was a joke. In the second verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the month of Ramadan in which the Quran was revealed, that's the whole big deal about the month. So the Quran was sent down in this month, and then Allah describes the Quran, a guidance for mankind, and in it are clear proofs of the guidance and the criterion, meaning the criterion of what is right and what is wrong. And whoever of you is present, then let him fast the month. And then he gives exception for those who are sick or on a journey, because the whole point was not to make life difficult for people, but if you're sick or on a journey, then you can make up the days, whatever numbers of days missed, you can make them up in other parts or other parts of the year. And Allah then concludes by saying, Allah does not desire hardship for you, but you should complete the period, and that you should magnify Allah for having guided you, and so that you may be thankful. That is, in very brief and in just the idea behind fasting and behind the month of Ramadan. Thank you for your attentive listening. Sallallahu barak ala Muhammad. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Jazakallah khair for the beautiful recitation and translation, Sheikh. I'd like to acknowledge a few people that are in the crowd today with us. I'd like to acknowledge the Consul General of Pakistan, Raja Ali Ijaz, right here at the table. We had the NYPD's Deputy Inspector Paul Valerga from Community Affairs. He's in charge of the community outreach citywide. See here? He left. And we have a Judge Annalisa Torres from Southern District of New York and Surrogate Court of Judge Manhattan. And we have Judge Rita Meha from Manhattan Surrogate Court as well. Next, we have a beautiful nasheed performance by the children of MACEMW, which stands for Moroccan American Council to Empower Women.
These are the months of Islam. جباد الأولى جباد الأخرى رجع الجباد. Ramadan and Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah. These are the months of Islam. أنت نور الله فجرا جئت فيصرا ربنا عليك قدرا يا إمام الأنبياء أنت في الوجدان دعي أنت في العيدين دعي أنت في النحوري أنت هذا الوصفي الله يا حبيبي يا محمد يا نبي سلام عليك يا رسول سلام عليك يا حبيب سلام عليك صلوات الله عليك يا نبي سلام عليك يا رسول سلام عليك يا حبيب سلام عليك صلوات الله عليك للحب قلبي حبي خير يسر ربي من به أبصرت دربي يا شفيع يا رسول الله أيها المصدر فينا زللا حبوها لينا جئت بعد الخير دينا يا ختام المرسلين يا حبيبي يا محمد يا نبي سلام عليك يا رسول سلام عليك يا حبيب سلام عليك صلوات الله عليك
MashaAllah, that was beautiful. Just give a one hand round of applause to them one more time. As we continue to celebrate the beauty of unity and diversity, my next guest speaker is born in Germany. He obtained his degree in electrotechnical engineering from Bosnia. He pursued his religious studies in Bosnia and Saudi Arabia. He is a property manager by profession. He's an imam and founding member of Al-Tawheed Islamic Center in Brooklyn. Please help me welcome our keynote speaker of the night, Imam Saud Lalachich Ajani.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا ما يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Amma ba'd, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, just to translate these few words in the words of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as they come, and he states that we indeed praise only Allah, who is creator, cherisher, and sustainer of all the worlds. Him we thank, from Him we seek help in all of our affairs. With Him we seek refuge from the sins of our deeds and sins that we carry with our own selves in our own souls. Whomever He Most High has chosen to guide, there is no one who can lead astray, and whomever He has let go astray, there is no one who can guide. I bear witness that there is no deity worth of any worship besides Allah, who is the Lord, the Creator and Sustainer of all of this world and all other worlds, who is the Lord, Creator of Adam, of Lot, of Ibrahim, Abraham, of Moses, of Jesus, of all the prophets as they came, and also who is the Lord of Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon them all. Diversity is tough to speak about diversity in a city that is as diverse as no other city in the world. Well, one thing stands is that Islam cannot be talked as something that is unique when it comes to the people that practice it. I have seen hundreds of mosques, and wherever I entered any of the mosques, I thought, look, there is something special about this Islam. But I never had the opportunity to see like hundred of mosques coming in one place, and that's pretty much how it looks here now. And there are so many things that make us different and make us diverse. But there is one thing that keeps us all together. This is the faith in our Lord. The faith that He established upon commands to establish good and kindness in this world. To be helpful at every step and every place that we live. To benefit any community, to benefit any city, any town, any college, any working place, any school, any street that we are and live with. There is so much that brings us apart, but yet you'll think of it, it is the place that makes us so special. This very most diverse city that I have seen, and I have seen quite few. As a child of Bosnian immigrants born and raised in Germany, lived pretty much in every European country, I have never seen anything like what I have seen and witnessed over here. First time I came over here, I fell in love with it. But I wasn't sure if I should move to it or not, so it took some time. And I'll tell you this special, I know that pretty much everybody has his own special moment, why he chose to come here, to this city. But I have this mine and might be interesting for you. So I had it pretty well in Germany. But as good as I had it, there was this feeling that I wasn't a part of the fabric of the society. No matter, even though being born there, speaking the language, going to school, I wasn't just German enough to be German. With all due respect to everybody who helped me over there, I felt strange. I was looking for a place where I will be feeling at home, where my success depends on my capabilities and not of the color of my skin or the language that my parents spoke and so on. So there happens to be this day where I was playing with my two little girls, two of my daughters in my courtyard, when some older German ladies walked by and asked us which language were I speaking with them. And I mean, happily I replied it was a Bosnian language, even though I was born and raised in Germany and spoke German at home, but I had this feeling that my kids, it wouldn't be bad for them to know Bosnian language, so I was speaking with them Bosnian. Well, these ladies got so upset, they got all red, saying, you can't speak any other language in this country. I mean, I was born there, I had no other country. And again, thought, no matter how good I do, I won't be able to materialize what I won't be able to have it for my children, for their children, so I needed another place. Came here to the States to visit my brother, who lived here since after the Bosnian War. Some of them might have heard about it. Now, on one day, I take these same two girls to a park close by where he lived on the 23rd Street. And there, as we were playing, we were again talking Bosnian. And then there is another older gentleman that asked me the same question. Which language was I speaking with the kids? And right away, it hit me. I thought, oh my God, again, so it's not going to be the States or it's not going to be the city, the New York City. So a little bit fighty, I replied, Bosnian, you have any issues with it? Said, no, for God's sake, just speak Bosnian with it. And I was like, this can't be. This man is asking me to speak Bosnian. And then he continues. He says, look, in America, and especially here in New York City, latest when they get their first friends, they'll speak as much as they want American and English language. They'll learn it flawlessly. But if you fail to teach them your language now, they might never learn it. And it can only benefit you and benefit this country for them to be able to speak more languages than just English. All right, that was the moment, pretty much the moment where I said, I am coming back to the city. And ever since I came and I stayed in this city, and I enjoyed every moment of it. It never ceased amazing me. And for the reason, especially for the reason of its diversity. Like I just said, look at us all here. It's like seeing Muslims for hundreds of mosques or hundreds of countries, and all together in one spirit, wanting to make this place a better place for us, for our children, and all of those that will come after us, and share it. Now, as diverse as we might be, from the types of clothes that we wear or the types of food that we eat, I want you to think of something that is so special about Islam. I mean, the largest crowd of people that I have ever seen, and pretty sure many of you also, is the one in Mecca, where up to 3 million people come for this pilgrimage, yearly pilgrimage of Muslims. The second large was, I guess, Barcelona against Red Star Belgrade, but that was when I was a kid. And there is a different, maybe here a parallel would be, what do they call that game that is so fancy over here? All right, that everybody is so crazy about? Football. And the main event is Super Bowl. Okay, so visiting these places, you can pretty much see as much security as you see the fans. But it amazed me in Mecca how in less than 1 minute, for the time of this iqama, when salat, when the prayer, where people were called for the prayer, iqama, less than 1 minute, close to 3 million people stood in almost perfect rows, wanting to pray and wanting to submit to Allah. It really is amazing. All of them coming from all different continents, all different countries, speaking all different languages, but united in one wish and one goal, to worship one God. And this is not the only thing. what also unites us, and maybe even before that. Prayer is commanded upon us, but so is goodness and kindness. Just as we come together and at the obvious and apparent, we come and make these perfect lines in prayer, same attitude and same feeling and same spirit we bring when it comes to establishing good on the earth. It is in the words of Allah where He commands us, just as He commands us the prayer, He commands us, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنكَرِ وَالْبَغْيِ. That Allah commands us goodness, justice, kindness towards the people, towards our relatives, towards those that we live with, our neighbors, colleagues, and friends. And this is what or where we are just as united as in prayer. Now, my wish for us that practice this Islam is that we would bring this further, that we would make this more apparent to those that live with us and live around us. People know about us many different aspects, but even though we know them, all need to know these aspects of our religion that commands us to be good to all that we live with and that we share this earth and this very place with. This is the wish that I would have for this Ramadan and many Ramadans to come, that we would understand this religion goes way beyond just praying or way just beyond fasting. It goes to conveying the message that has carried this world throughout the history. I strongly encourage everyone to go and just look throughout the history what Muslims have contributed just because or for the reason of the spirit of this letter. This would be my wish for me and my wish for my fellow Muslims and for all our neighbors, our friends, our colleagues. If I would be allowed to make a wish is to give us a chance. I'll finish with another event that happened in my life not too long ago. Namely, as a property manager, I know quite few people, and one of them is a very dear colleague to me. I worked with him for more than 10 years. Hashi Friedman, okay? So he's a Hasidic Jew. All right, so once as we're sitting in the car, and our car sessions are like for hours and hours, we try solving world problems. So once we spoke like that, and he tells me, "Oh man, Saud." And I say, "Yes, Haji." He tells me, "I wish all the Muslims would be like you. Look, I ask him, "Haji, tell me honestly, how many Muslims do you know like you know me?" He tells me, "Wow, not any. Not a single one." So I say, "Hashi, by God, the way I know Muslims, I know for a fact that many, if not most of them that I know are better than me. So if we are just given the opportunity to live and propel with everything that we feel and everything that we can establish in this world, you are going to witness as being one of the greatest contributor to this city, to this country, and the world in general." I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept the fast of all of those that fast, to accept the good deeds of all of those that engage in good deeds, and to bring us once together again next and many years to come. Thank you. Jazakumullah khairan.
Thank you very much, Imam Saud, for the inspiring words. I'd like to call upon the Consul General of Pakistan, Raja Ali Ijaz, to come and say a few words.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Let me begin by thanking my very gracious host for this invitation. I was there last year and I thoroughly enjoyed my time that I spent in this hall last year. It was again during the month of Ramadan. I also avail of this opportunity to congratulate each and every one of you on the auspicious month of Ramadan. Allah's blessings are infinite, and I think we are very blessed to experience the month of Ramadan again. We look forward. I would like to pray here that each one of us in this hall and even outside are blessed during this holy month. Unfortunately, I will not be here to open the fast with you here tonight because I am invited elsewhere, but I will be here in spirit. I also take this opportunity to congratulate all the honorees here who are being awarded. Well, thank you so much for having me, and a very good evening to you. Thank you.
I also like to acknowledge Lieutenant Saint Fort right here from Community Affairs Citywide right here. And Imam Abu Saeed Amin from Darul Sunnah Islamic Center. Next up, we have a special guest. We have a council member, New York City Council member, Matthew Eugene. I would like to ask him to come on the stage, please.
Thank you so very much, Hassan. Thank you. I'm going to be very, very brief because this is such a wonderful, momentous occasion, and I want all of us to enjoy. My name is Matthew Eugene, and I'm the New York City Council member representing District 40, which is a home to so many people from the Muslim community. And I'm proud to serve this district where so many Muslims from all over the world are living. And I am so pleased and so honored to join all of us, our friends, our neighbors, our leaders, and all of you here for this great celebration. And we come here not only for the iftar dinner, but also to pay tribute to the contribution of all the wonderful people from the Muslim community. What New York would be without your contribution? And with your contribution, New York City is a better place, is a welcoming environment for everybody. And let me tell you something. We are talking all the time about the greatness of New York City. And the greatness of New York City comes from all of us, especially from you, from the Muslim community. And I want to take the opportunity also to thank the leadership of this community, all of you leaders in the community. And I got a special gratitude to pay to the young people from the PACE organization. PACE organization, thank you so very much. And I'm so grateful to all of you from the Muslim community for your support, the support you have given me as an elected official and also as your council member. Because of you, I am going to continue to serve, to do what I love doing, serving people for another 4 years. Thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart. And I want to pay respect also to the Consul General, Ali. Thank you so much for being here. You know, we in New York City, we are one community. When we talk about the community in New York City, it is not about the Pakistani community, Bangladeshi community, Haitian community, Caribbean community, or Jewish community. It is about all of us. We, human beings, we people. And I want to take the opportunity also to thank and to salute a great friend of the Pakistani community, a great friend of the Caribbean community, Haitian community, Bangladeshi community. Is all over the place. Everybody knows him. Somebody told me he's the ambassador of people. Please put your hand together for Douglas Jablon from Maimonides Medical Center. So again, it's an honor, a pleasure for me to be here. I want to wish you a wonderful moment. And I want to wish you also blessing and continue to do what you have been doing. Be part of the community. Be part of New York City. And one of the things that I love also, I see so many children there. The children downstairs and so many children over here. They are the leaders of tomorrow. We are all working for them. Those children, they will take over, and they are the future. It is very important that we bring them together with us and to make sure they understand that we, people, we are all together, working together, making New York City a better place for all. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Council Member Matthew Eugene. There's a couple of acknowledgements that I want to do right here. One is Derek Slaughter from New York City Commission of Human Rights. And we have Zafar Iqbal here from Al Rayyan Funeral Services. From our interfaith community, we have a very special person that I want to introduce next. He's from Maimonides Hospital. I believe he's the vice president. He's a good friend of ours, Douglas Jablon. Please welcome.
First of all, there's a little secret between me and the councilman that we both have the same mother. So I just wanted to pass that along to everybody. Right, Councilman? You know, standing here in front of such holy and wonderful people, it's one of my biggest honors. And I have so many stories concerning the Muslim community that I could write a book. In 1996, I was on the front page of the New York Times stating that one day I was walking through the hospital at Maimonides, and I saw 8 men kneeling on the floor and praying. And I went over, I said, you know, he said, we don't have a place to pray. And thank God that we have a great administration at the hospital, and with the help of the community, that we do have a mosque now at Maimonides Medical Center. Also, if you look into our maternity floors, the Muslim community is really growing, and they are beautiful children. And I tell you the truth, how you could see a Hasidic woman next to a Muslim lady, both in the 2 different garbs, how they're talking together, and the babies are laying next to next. And this is what really God really wants, and that's how his children should behave. Now, I just want to really tell you a short story. I know it's getting late. About 3 years ago, I was very, very sick. Matter of fact, Hassan, that knows that he works with me, that I almost lost my life. I had called MRSA in my system. That's an infection. And what could I say? I don't think God wanted me. So I was very, very sick. And one day, one of the monsignors from the church came up to visit me, and then all of a sudden, one of the Grand Rabbi's son came up to see me at the same time, and then the imam from 5th Avenue in Brooklyn came up to see me. And guess what? I'm laying in bed, they're visiting me, and all 3 of them did not stop talking. And you want to know something? I don't even think they said goodbye to me, because they all got up and they walked out together. And again, and this is what goes on in the world. And this is why people like this and people sitting here of all different and whatever, we're all God's children. We all have to pray to each one. Like the Jews and the Muslims, we have something, you know, together, that we have the same grandfather, and that's why we're family together. But what could I say? That dealing with the Muslim community is one of the most beautiful communities and one of the most holiest of all and respectful. And what could I say? Sometimes that it is so gorgeous that I come home, and my wife knows what type of meeting I was at. If I was at this meeting, or a Muslim meeting, she knows that I came from a Muslim meeting because I come home and I rest. But what else could I say? I just wanted to say, each one of you, and Mayor Appel, that's also a partner, and Mo, I just want to say each one of you, God bless each one of you, and this organization that's really working hard tonight is really another group that God really wants to see on this earth. And each one of you should have a long life, a happy life, a healthy life, and the only time you should come to Maimonides is when you're pregnant and having a child. And what could I say? God bless each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Douglas. Appreciate it. Just want to acknowledge Daniel Abramson from the Office of Mayor. He's the Brooklyn Borough Director. We have Mark Appel from the organization called Bridge. We have Moni Lotfi from the Noor Halal Foods. And we have Paul Mohammed from Nation of Islam. Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Debbie Al-Muntasir from Muslim Community Network. Please come up and say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace and greetings, my sisters and brothers. I'm truly honored and humbled to be here this evening. Who can believe we've been here 14 years? 14 years, mashallah. I remember the very first meeting that we had, which was with Borough President Marty Markowitz, back in 2004. After I kept asking him over and over to do an iftar, and then he called me and several other community leaders from the Brooklyn community, Muslim community, for a meeting. As we sat around that table downstairs on the first floor, I could not believe that he finally agreed to acknowledge the Muslim community of Brooklyn. In the aftermath of September 11th, many members of our community had a very difficult time with the backlash and discrimination, but we had incredible elected officials who stood by our side and who were there for us and made sure that our community had a seat at the table and a voice in everything and anything that pertained to our communities. It was truly an incredible moment. And right in this room, we made history in 2004. And then slowly but surely, every other borough president across the 5 boroughs started holding an iftar. So Brooklyn, you are trendsetters. You set the trend of unity. You set the trend of diversity. You set the trend of brotherhood and sisterhood, where we can all come together and, like we are tonight, breaking bread. We are simply the example of what humanity should be like in every part of the world, coming together to learn about each other's faiths. Every year, I have to say, when we have this iftar, more and more non-Muslims are here. It is such an honor to have you here and to have the opportunity to learn about us, to learn about our faith, and to see how we worship, how we are able to come together and welcome you as our sisters and brothers. And for me tonight, I have to say the highlight was the couple from Atlanta. To see this brother celebrate his wife, man, I thought my husband only does that. Where's my husband? Wave, wave. My biggest cheerleader in the world. Everywhere I go, oh, you know, they said so many wonderful things about you, and I'm like, who? And like, your husband. I'm like, oh gosh, him again. So mashallah, we should be really honored of these great men that are actually on this side. I don't want to say behind, because I refuse to have that word behind anymore. Beside. Beside every great man is a woman. Beside every great woman is a man. So I say this because what you see in the media and what you see all the time is negative images of Islam and Muslims. But today you have the opportunity to see the beauty of this incredible community. You are going to actually hear from the incredible honorees that are being honored this year for their extraordinary work, whether they are organizers or in the professional field, who are making a difference in the lives of so many people. And now more than ever, I praise the Borough President Eric Adams for giving people this opportunity to really highlight the beautiful stories of Brooklynites doing great work. It basically counters what you hear and see in the media day in and day out. Tonight, Yasmin, who's I've known since she was a kid, who's a lawyer, a kick-ass lawyer. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse, it's Ramadan. A great lawyer who's gonna be here tonight, who's being honored. It's just incredible. We also have a student who is environmentally friendly, who's also being honored tonight. Wave, so that way everybody knows. Who actually did this whole campaign with City Council. We also have one of my incredible esteemed brothers who is in the NYPD, but prior to that was a medical doctor. I still don't know why he left medicine for NYPD. And my dear brother here, who actually has served for so many years as a chaplain. As we sat and we were discussing all of the honorees, everybody had a special story. And then you also heard about my dear friend and brother who spoke earlier and his incredible work at Maimonides. And I don't think there is anybody that I know in Brooklyn that knows the Muslim community more than him. Nobody. I remember for years, every time I would go to Al Noor School, Islamic school, on 4th Avenue and 20th Street, I would run into him there because he cared about the community and made sure that the students of Al Noor had internships at the hospital, which was really, really incredible. And then my esteemed brother who's sitting here, who's actually a key food mogul and a board member of the Yemeni American Merchants Association, who's done incredible work to uplift the community. So you are truly in for a big surprise with all of our honorees. And as I said earlier, it's all about countering the negativity that's out there and seeing the beauty of this community and what they have to offer. And we see this day in and day out, but not our fellow American neighbors who don't see this. I want to ask you all, how many of you saw that whole campaign of Punish a Muslim Day back on April 3rd? How many people saw that? Okay, that was awful. Well, I have to tell you, our borough president, once he heard of this, he was like, this is not happening in Brooklyn. He held a press conference in the heart of Little Pakistan, which is also known as Little Muslim Community, in the Coney Island Avenue area. And we had press there and people came out. And it was beautiful because we had our interfaith allies and partners who came out and stood with us and who really saw that this day was detrimental, not just to the Muslim community, but to the very fabric of this nation. When we allow people to divide us, then we have lost all faith in each other as human beings. And so coming together for this press conference ignited the opportunity for people to do things. And that very morning, one of the interfaith partners said, well, I want to do something about this. I want to work with my sisters and brothers and give out kufis and hijabs for people at the train station. I want to be able to do that, and Debbie, could you help me? And I said to her, of course, I'll be happy to help you. We went out, we got hijabs, all different colors, make sure that they match everybody's outfits, and we got a bunch of kufis. And the next morning at 8 a.m., she joined me, Rabbi Ellen Littman, and others who came out, and we started to give these kufis to the men and the hijabs to the women, and it was just the most beautiful thing to see. And as every woman or man took that hat, and they kept saying to us, I will wear this all day, because what I know about the Muslim community is not what I see and hear in the media. And so I have respect for the community. I have neighbors. I have some who've been my students, and I will do everything that I can to be an ally and support. So it was really a beautiful act of kindness. And today we're also going to be acknowledging somebody who did something really spectacular for that horrible day of Punish a Muslim, who actually made this incredible gesture that just was incredible. And I won't say more about it because I want it to be a surprise, but I am truly honored to actually meet him and to hear of his story and what he did that day to challenge this negative media stunt that was created. So what does this mean, guys? Okay, all right, okay. All righty, so with that said, I want to welcome you all. It's really a wonderful honor and privilege to be here again and to be in your acquaintance. I want to also acknowledge the entire planning committee of the IFTAR for all of their incredible work to do this. This is a huge undertaking, so please give them all a round hand of applause. And so on that note, I will end. Thank you so much. Jazakum Allah khair. Assalamu alaikum. And Eid Mubarak.
So we have our war ceremony for the night where we give citations out, and I would like to hand it over and welcome someone who's a true champion and a warrior when it comes to the unity and diversity. The words can't do justice, so I would just go right into introducing him. Brothers and sisters, please welcome the Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams.
Thank you, and really you honor us each year when we have the Iftar dinner, and I'm really happy today you have my good friend for many years, my brother Abdul Jaber, that's here, and has really been a voice of reasoning in this city for so long. And I want to thank Pays. You know, please, let's give them a round of applause. They do this with passion and really caring. And, you know, as we continue to heal this city, heal this country, and that is my message today. My message is really to continue to just send a message of hope, send a message of prayer for the family who was really shattered when their dad went to just deliver pizza on an army base, and he was eventually arrested, and now he's on the verge of being deported. Let's just send out hopes to that family and just have them in their prayer. Lift them up in your prayers as we move forward during this Ramadan season. And let's continue to embrace each other. And I want to really thank you. I want to thank the large Muslim community here in Brooklyn as we continue to fight on, struggle on, and no matter what happens, America belongs to us all. Anyone tells you to, when you look at it, we're all immigrants in America. It doesn't matter if it's one generation, two generations, three generations. We all are new arrivals here. So if someone tells you go back to your country, tell them you'll go back to your country after they go back to theirs. America belongs to all of us. Thank you very much.
If anybody's taking pictures professionally, please come on this side so you have a good view. Our first honoree is Yasmin Dwedar. All right, our next honoree is Sergeant Zagham Abbas.
Congratulations. Good to see you. Good to see you. Go to the picture.
Kazi, you're next.
Congratulations.
Our next honoree is Kazi Ateea.
You want your own fan club?
Our next honoree is the category of organization, and we have Brother Saleh Hassan taken on behalf of Yemeni American Merchant Association, YAMA. Our next interfaith honoree is Douglas Jablon.
Douglas.
Our next honoree is a special person, Mubarak Abdul Jaber. Abdul Elenani here?
Good job, brother.
The next honoree is a special mention, and I'd just like to read a few words for him. His name is Abdul Elenani. He's the CEO, founder of Cocoa Grinder. Abdul Elenani is the CEO and founder of Cocoa Grinder and a creator of Love a Muslim Day. After a Punish a Muslim Day came to light, a health-conscious businessman born into a coffee family, Abdul's legacy began when a dynasty of his father's hard work of building several Dunkin' Donuts and chock full of nuts locations. With a background and fascination in coffee, Abdul decided to use his creativity to gear away from the Dunkin' Donuts and begin his own coffee concept, known as Cocoa Grinder. Mixing sweetness with the grind of life, Abdul's dream of combining coffee with juice bar and healthy kitchen became a success in a Bay Ridge community, leading to a current expansion of 12 Cocoa Grinder locations throughout the tri-state area. Cocoa Grinder thrives off and lives up to its motto, to eat, drink, and grind. So I would like to welcome Abdul Elenani for a special mention citation.
Okay, okay, okay. And mother, you don't have to take the baby out because she's crying. We like crying babies in here. She can stay. This is not Donald Trump. Congratulations, man. Thank you, man. You know that? I used to have hair like that, you know?
We all get old someday, huh? Assalamu alaikum to all. May peace and blessings be upon you all. I actually had no idea that I was going to say anything today, but I'll just say how this came about. It was the night of the Punish a Muslim Day. I was sitting with my lovely wife, Ayat Mas'ud, in the car overnight. And I was browsing through Facebook and I see an article about in the UK 7 Muslims stabbed in honor of Punish a Muslim Day. So I look at her, I'm like, this is insane. They're killing people to just, because they're Muslim? It's crazy. We're in, like, what's going on here? So I said to myself, like, I don't have a word on anybody. I am a nobody. But as a person that owns a storefront, which means I can display a message in the front of people's eyes. And so I decided the next morning, I told her I'm gonna print this huge big banner and I'm gonna just offer free coffee to everyone out there, every Muslim and every non-Muslim for a Punish a Muslim Day special. And on the banner I said, and if you're not Muslim, just say your Shahada and you'll get a free coffee. I didn't mean it literally for all the heat I got. It just meant that, just to clarify it, it meant where because you don't know anything about Islam and Muslims, because we're neighbors, we're right next to you, just look it up, look up what Shahada is and look up what it means to be a Muslim. And it was a success and it just went viral, alhamdulillah. And I hope it sent nothing but positive vibes and positive energy on everybody. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, we want to listen from the honorees as well. So I would like to have Sister Kazi Ateea come and say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope everyone's Ramadan has been going very well. Just a little bit about myself. I go to City College. And I'm studying environmental sciences and public policy. And the reason why I'm being honored here tonight is because of the work I do in the Bangladeshi community and the South Asian community in New York City. I'm the executive director of the Bangladeshi American Advocacy Group, which is in all of New York City, and a co-founder of the American South Asian Community Services in Brooklyn. We are looking to not only uplift but empower the Bangladeshi and the South Asian community, and not just us specifically, but also all immigrants and everybody alike. This summer, ASACS, the American South Asian Community Services, is running a summer program free of charge for all students 12 to 17 years old, and we are looking to empower them in ways that they haven't before. We know that there's a lot of topics that the youth are not aware of or don't have much knowledge of, and we're looking to empower them and enlighten them and prepare them for what's coming. And we are expecting a good amount of people because of the outreach that we're doing, but we also want to encourage everyone who is not Muslim or is not Bengali or is not South Asian to participate as well, because in order to create a community, you need to be a community. Yeah, so if you are in the Kensington Borough Park area, if you live in New York City, it doesn't matter where, and you know someone that's 12 to 17 years old, we want them to come and participate in our programs. You can email me at ateea@asacsnewyork.org, and I will send you all the information that you need. We don't have a Facebook page yet. We're completely new, and we want as much support as possible, and we want to reach as many youth as possible. So if you work with any other organizations besides the two that I've named, then please reach out to me, because we want to work with other organizations as well. Thank you.
Brother Sergeant Zagham Abbas, please come and say a few words as well.
Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, as you guys know, their name is Sergeant Zagham Abbas. Obviously, I'm a sergeant with the Police Department Community Affairs Outreach Division. Personally, like to thank my Community Affairs Chief Nilda Hoffman, giving me an opportunity to be here and represent the community. And I work in Brooklyn and Staten Island, representing the two boroughs. Working with the communities, I obviously like to thank my Lieutenant St. Ford. He's here, and thank you for giving me an opportunity, and always supporting me, and always there for me whenever I need you. And I'm here for my community, all my Muslim community, not only Muslim, obviously Jewish community, Christian community, all of them I serve. This is the good way. NYPD community affairs are reaching out. It's connecting. This is the new direction department is going. I'm very proud to represent the community in Brooklyn, and like to thank few organizations that went throughout the years supported me and helped me to be successful in my own career. As you guys know, that I went through the medical division, medical school. I graduated from there, but my passion was to be with the community and help the community. That's what I wanted to do for a long time, so that's what I chose this job. The job gave me an opportunity, and I'm very humble and thankful to the award committee and selecting me for this award. I'd like to thank Yemeni community, sister, the brother Naji and his wife. She's always there for us, always represent the Muslim community, all those forums. Also the Pani organization, also representing the community. The Paul's brother Hassan is always there for me. He's like my mentor. So I'm very humbled to be here. Thank you guys, and reach out to us. You guys need anything. We are representing the community fair outreach. Bangladeshi community, brother Kazi is here. And so many names, I can't name all of you guys there. And I also like to thank that especially Muslim Officers Society President Adil Bhai. He's the one who motivated all of us. He's the first one who came on the job and motivated us to be, took this job and then follow his footsteps. I'm very humble and honored to be here again. Thank you. Thanks all the guys, and thanks Paul's as well. Thank you guys.
Next, I would like to have Brother Abdul Jaber and say a few words as well.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm just want to take you back for a little history lesson. I know we only got a short period of time, so I'm not going to take too long. You know, I was the first African American, first Muslim ever elected to the PBA. I'm on the executive board of the PBA. I'm the second vice president of the PBA. When I came on the police force in 1983, January 1983, and our borough president knows some of the circumstances we had in the 80s on the police department. But one of the things I would like to say that in 1983, when I came on the police department, there was only 2 other Muslim officers that I knew of. 2. Not saying they were only 2 on the job, but they were extremely few. Now we can proudly say, thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have over 1,000 officers in NYPD and growing. And on another subject, and I know my time is running short, you know, we all have to say alhamdulillah and thank Allah for this gathering here. When I first became Muslim, there was only one masjid in Brooklyn, State Street Masjid. Before Masjid Furud, before all these other masajids that you have now, there was one in Brooklyn, there was one in Manhattan, Riverside Drive and 72nd Street. Now, thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have so many Muslims from so many different places coming together. We have a borough president that is so understanding and so willing to stand with us publicly, not just for political reasons, but publicly from the heart. And I think we should thank Allah for that as well. You know? And I think that while we come in here with all of our friends and all of our families, from, you know, for myself, you know, we have family members who are non-Muslim. It's nice to see that we have non-Muslims involved in our iftar dinners. And to go forward, we have to work together as a city. You know, sometimes the politics of the city, even sometimes the politics of police departments where you have different commissioners, look to divide. We cannot allow that division to occur because we are the city. We what make the city. We make our politicians, and we have to participate in this process, meaning that if you have a politician, whether he's a borough president, whether he's a council member, whether he's a mayor, whether he's a governor, or she's a governor, mayor, and so forth, participate in the process of voting. Participate in the process on your respective jobs. If you have unions or if you have coalitions there, participate in them. For so many years, Muslims stood to the side. We didn't participate. We said, this is not our fight. But we're not going nowhere. We here in America, the majority of us here are not going anywhere. We might go back home and visit, but we're going to come back to America. You know, so participate in the processes that we have here. Again, we thank Allah for all that we have. We all know that these are the last 10 nights of Ramadan, and Laylatul Qadr is there for those non-Muslims that we believe this is a special night. We look to seek that night, one of these nights of the last 10 days. Encourage in your dua, make dua for me, my family, make dua for ourselves, make dua for the Muslims all over the world, because we need our elevation to be what it is and what it should be and what it could be. So again, thank everyone and thank the committee for this honor.
I would like to invite Sister Yasmin Dwedar to talk about her great work and please.
All right, good evening, assalamu alaikum, and peace be upon you. So my name is Yasmin Dwedar, and if it's not obvious, I'm a Muslim American attorney. I'm a native Brooklynite, and I'm of Egyptian and Filipino descent, and so I know we have representation from both sides here tonight. So I know you're here to hear a little bit about our stories, and my path to a career in the law was actually inspired by the struggles I endured while challenging my high school's discriminatory policies barring me from participating in student government. And the story is actually featured in Mustafa Bayyoumi's classic book. That's Mustafa Bayoumi right there, the author of the book. He's here with us tonight. He has a chapter featuring the profiles of a number of Arab Americans and their experiences post 9/11, and my chapter, Yasmin, is one of the chapters in that book. Thanks to Mustafa telling my story so eloquently, the closest thing I've ever been to Oprah is O Magazine. And so they wrote a little review about the book, and they referred to the chapter, Yasmin, as being the most encouraging chapter in the book, describing me as a brave young woman who reminds us that despite what Arab Americans have suffered and continue to endure, that they still hope that America is a place they can live in peace and find justice, fairness, and freedom. And so to accomplish this, I decided to pursue a career in public interest and social justice work. I actually began my career working in the Access to Justice program for the New York State Courts. And then I went on to clerk for the Honorable Annalisa Torres, who is also here with us tonight, in both state and federal court. And prior to that, I actually interned for Judge Rita Maya, who is the surrogate court judge here from Manhattan, also here with us tonight. I then became the first Muslim American attorney to be hired under the Ken Thompson administration, and the significance of that is that Ken Thompson was the first person of color to be elected to office as district attorney. Unfortunately, he passed away, and may God rest his soul, but I was really honored to have been given the privilege to serve as an assistant district attorney for Kings County. Debatable, but we'll say under that administration, yes. And so in my career, I've actively engaged in trying to bring greater cultural, racial, and religious sensitivity to all of the places that I've worked. Today, I work as a supervising attorney at the Taxi and Limousine Commission, where I work with a lot of taxi and for-hire vehicle drivers who happen to hail from immigrant backgrounds, and a lot of them are South Asian, Arab, Muslim American, and I basically work to help combat driver abuses and educate drivers about their rights. I've generally liked to work towards paving new paths in the legal community and beyond. I do a lot of diversity and inclusion work. One of the things that I worked on was starting the Arab American Bar Association here in New York, and that's to advance Arab Americans in the legal community. I also serve on the New York State Bar Association's Diversity and Inclusion Committee. I also sit on the board of directors for Kinding Sindao, which is a cultural preservation group for the South Philippines. And then I'm also on the board of directors for the Muslim Bar Association. The most recent honor was being recognized in Crain's New York's Business Top 100 Women Lawyers for New York City for 2018. That was pretty neat. And really, I've just always been a person that likes to speak up, and I'm always thinking about problems and potential solutions to them. So I'll do little things like when I was at the district attorney's office, I made sure that they sent out emails for Ramadan and Eid, which is now a tradition there. The same is true at the Taxi and Limousine Commission. So I've raised greater awareness there. I do little things like there was a graduation at the Graduate Center recently, and I asked for accommodations for the graduates and their families. And so we got to break fast in the middle of the graduation, and they gave us food. And so I think it's important for us to speak up whenever we want to be accommodated. If you don't speak up, you're not going to get accommodations. Another one of the little things was the Deaf Muslim Association is here. And there was a year when I first started on the committee where I thought it was very important to make sure that we accommodated everyone. And I wanted to make sure that this dinner was accessible to the deaf and hard of hearing community as well. So I'm really honored that you're with us here today. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just want to say that I'm really, really grateful for this honor, and I'm thankful for all of you being here with us today. And I'm just really grateful to be able to spend this iftar with you. So thank you for coming today.
Before I introduce the next honoree, Saleh Hassan from the Yemeni American Merchants Association, we have a special video presentation that I would like you guys to enjoy. Brother Saleh Hassan, please come and share some words with us.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I want to thank you for this great honor that Yama's board, Ziad, Ziad, Abdul Elenani, Nagy, and Ms. Dr. Debbie, staff greatly appreciate the recognition as a new organization. The Yemeni Merchants Association was birthed through the Yemeni bodega strike in New York City in response to the executive order travel ban on February 2nd, 2017 at the Brooklyn Borough Hall. On April 23rd, 2017, Yama's founder organized a community dialogue introducing the development of a nonprofit organization. The event drew close to 300 merchants where two members of American Congress, Yvette Clarke and Gary Nadler, beside the presidents of Brooklyn Borough Hall, president, and members of the city council members. In addition, Yama has organized legal clinics in Brooklyn and in the Bronx, most highly resided boroughs by Yemenis in New York. Following the Muslim ban second announcement, Yama held a press conference in Brooklyn where it was viewed on Facebook Live by over 50,000 viewers. Shortly after, the Yemeni diversity visa winners messaged Yama's members about their plea. On behalf of the Yemeni diversity visa lottery winners languishing across the Middle East and South Asia
as well as other lottery winners from the 6 banned Muslim countries, Yama sought a legal remedy for 300 winners with the filing of a lawsuit by the National Civil Rights Organization. Yama also provided the Yemeni diversity visa winners with humanitarian aid and partnership with Pure Hand Charity thought as a launch good campaign. Pure Hand was able to assist 89 individuals with 1 month's rent and groceries. In the summer of 2017, Yama actively participated in the local government hearing sessions and in the discussions of the tobacco law deliberation. It also visited a number of local council members in which made statements and expressed its views, which leads to some changes on the decision which banned a law later. Yama visited the U.S. House of Representatives to raise the issue of the Yemenis who are affected with their families by the travel ban and standards in Malaysia. It also managed to preside 30 members of Congress to write a letter of urgency to Rex Tillerson. After the Muslim ban was announced on September 24, 2017, Yama released information of the indefinite ban to the Yemeni merchants and their families. On October 6, 2017, Yama became a plaintiff represented by the ACLU on behalf of the Yemeni merchants and their families directly impacted by the ban by the Maryland District Court with IRAP and a host of other organizations. In response, Yama has been steering committee's members of the National Non-Muslim Ban Rally. Yama mobilized Yemeni Americans from the country from this October 18th action, making the Yemeni American community to be proud in attendance of all the rallies. On December 28, 2017, in cooperation with the Yemeni Activists Association, organized a demonstration condemning the implementation of a travel ban of its 3rd edition, which led to the refusal of the entry for about 300 Yemenis who got their visas canceled after issuance. CARE on the 19th anniversary gala on February 24, 2018, wanted to bring other Muslims, New Yorkers, and their allies to celebrate the leaders' organization and values of how always made in New York great. CARE honored Yama for the Action in Faith Award. Leading to the oral argument by the U.S. Supreme Court on April 25th, Yama organized a 1-hour shutdown of bodegas, stores in heavily populated cities across the United States to let the world know of their pain and the pain of suffering of other Yemeni Americans who are separated from their families due to the Muslim ban on Tuesday, April 24th. 14 cities across the U.S. participated with approximately 3,000 bodegas close to support this action. The Yemeni American Merchant Association closely works with the Shima Al-Mori family in their battle seeking entry into the U.S. for medical treatment, which their family was finally granted a waiver. Yama made their travel hotel arrangement for their return to the U.S. Yama welcomed the family of the 5 with flowers, balloons, and crowded support and reporters to the John F. Kennedy International Airport. Yama is proud to be the partnership with Wildlife Conservation Society, the WCS, in the environmental campaign Give a Sip campaign. It was launched on May 23, 2018, in the support of the legislation to eliminate single-use plastic straws in New York City, not to mention countless and individual cases of the Yemeni merchants we're helping across New York City. Thank you, everybody. Once again.
Assalamu alaikum. Oh, I was just trying to see if they're still awake. I think everybody ate food and it looks like everybody's about to fall asleep right now. But no, we're not going to keep you here for too long. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for making this event, again, historical. It only is blessing with all of you guys here. This hall, this person that is the leader of this hall in Brooklyn Borough Hall allows us to make this happen. So I'm going to ask right now Sister Maha and Naima to please come up. And we have a special gift for our friend here, who not only is a Brooklyn Borough President, but he doesn't like calling it, he calls himself as a brother. Brother to everybody, brother to us, brother to all. And not only does he talk like I think previously somebody said, he is nothing but action. He's out there on the streets grinding with us. He's at the bodegas closing them down one by one. When it came to the Merchants Association, when it came to, I'm being told, ask the committee members to please come up. And we'd like to present the Borough President with this gift in appreciation for the Brooklyn Iftar Committee 2018. And it's a special gift that we picked out for you, Mr. President, that, that you may hold dear. It is the Holy Quran, which is translated in English, and hope that you can enjoy it. And, maybe we'll see it in a mantle, not only in Brooklyn Borough Hall, but maybe future-wise somewhere else. Can we just have everybody, please? Yes, thank you. Come on, guys. Get over. Okay, crowd together.
Right here?
Sorry, it's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Borough President, this is nothing. This is no token compared to what you've given us. So thank you. Thank you so much. Now, last, we want to appreciate a person who is behind the scenes. This person doesn't come in the front. This person stays in the trenches. And people that work behind the scenes, people that are in the trenches, we feel should be recognized. I don't think he's accepted. I don't think he's even knows what's going on here. But Pastor Monroe's, where are you? Where is he? This is our token of appreciation, Pastor, for putting up with us. For the day and night calls and the late calls and the emails. Really appreciate your work, your dedication for this borough.
How come the Borough President one is bigger than mine?
No, that's because we only had that kind of funding.
Because he's the president.
Brothers and sisters, lastly, but most importantly, I'd like to thank all the volunteers that made this possible. I would like to ask Pakistani American Youth Society, Muslims Giving Back, and ICNA Relief. They've been doing this for the past 5 years. Put a hand together for them. I'd also like to thank the Borough President's Office for giving me a humble opportunity to MC this event. You've been a gracious crowd. Thank you. This concludes our night tonight. Travel safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, so if you can stay in your seat, if you'd like to meet the Borough President and he would like to shake your hand just for a moment, especially those of you who are there, if you would like to just wait for one moment, we're going to come to your table right now, okay? But if you have to leave, we want to really thank you. Have a safe trip home, and we'll be walking around with the Borough President now. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you.